We have a long history of being home to Puerto Rican and Latino families who chose to start their lives in our state. They grew our economy, and every single day, their presence in our states and our country make us stronger and better.
That was Governor Tim Walz yesterday in Pennsylvania. With just 44 days until the election, the Harris-Walz campaign is aggressively reaching out to Latino voters. They kicked off Hispanic Heritage Month with a historic $3 million investment in Spanish-language radio ads. And they are deploying prominent Latino leaders to cultural events within communities around the country. One of those leaders joins us now, Democratic Senator Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico. Welcome, sir.
Senador, good morning to you. How fun to have you with us. You know, it is telling to me watching that video, Puerto Ricans are Americans, right? So they're not immigrants to this country. Many of your constituents in New Mexico, third, fourth, fifth generation Hispanics. And yet I think it is important for voters across this country to understand what it is that Donald Trump is promising vis-a-vis immigration in a second term. I want you to take a listen to something that Vice President Harris had to say about Donald Trump's deportation plans. This is at the CHC.
Donald Trump and his extremist allies will keep trying to pull us backward. We all remember what they did to tear families apart. And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be. How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps? What are they talking about?
What are they talking about, Senator? Because when pushed on it, Donald Trump doesn't actually seem to know how to articulate this vision that is laid out in Project 2025.
Well, Alicia, good morning. Good to be with you, Simone and Michael, this morning. Look, I'm very worried about the impact to my Latino brothers and sisters all across America, including citizens of America, because they're going to be profiled. And when you have people like Stephen Miller and the ugly policies and those that President Trump decided to surround himself with, there's no question that there's going to be mass deportations if Donald Trump is reelected, and how he's going to round people up. It is terrifying. Going to schools, going to church, coming out of church, places where we should feel the safest is where Donald Trump and folks like Stephen Miller are going to target them. I am terrified to the treatment of people under the former president. That's just one reason why he should not be reelected at all, and why we need to stand together and make sure that we elect Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz to be President of the United States and Vice President of the United States of America.
You know, it's interesting where we are now and how this journey began. With Hispanic voters and the Democratic Party. I think there was a lot of conversation about that vote, very much like the African-American vote, being taken for granted, assumed by the Biden team at the time. And the numbers then were not very favorable. Donald Trump in his campaign were making inroads by leveling up fake sneakers and menthol cigarettes and deploying all kinds of tricks and gimmicks to sort of capture the imagination. But now we're looking at polling of likely Hispanic voters from the New York Times, Siena College, showing a 55-41% edge for Kamala Harris's campaign. Talk about that shift in the attitude, because I suspect it's a little bit more than, oh, we just replaced, switched out the top of the ticket. Is the messaging from the, from the campaign resonating on the economy, on the job creation, appealing to that true, purely entrepreneurial spirit of the Hispanic community? How does that, how do you account for that change that we're seeing now in the numbers?
Well, Michael, you know the importance of reaching out to communities, to our Black brothers and sisters, our brown brothers and sisters, Native American communities throughout the country. I saw you do it, and you were good.
You're a little too good.
A little too good. But what's important is that there's conversations from the beginning, not after voting begins, not after early voting begins, and making sure you connect. Number one, the Harris campaign and the Walz campaign are reaching out to communities, not just on television, on radio, with social media ads, but they're showing up in communities and having conversations. Surrogates as well are prioritizing Latino communities throughout the United States. Think Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, where I've been, and I've seen it firsthand, number one. Number two, the shift in energy. Latino voters are a very young cohort.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing a lot of energy from younger voters throughout America, especially with Latino voters as well. So when the Harris campaign is putting real money, and Julie Rodriguez is doing incredible work, but in English and Spanish, and the way that I grew up, Michael, in Spanglish, where you use English and Spanish together. Alicia, I know you connect with that as well. But that's how I grew up, talking to my parents and my grandparents, and it was both languages that were used together beautifully. It was like a little poem. But connecting with voters and understanding they're not monolithic. You're speaking to voters with the voices and the Spanish that is theirs, that's from their community, and the heroes in each one of those communities that is rising up to share their own stories. That's where I see this energy coming from. And while those numbers are improving, they're only getting better.
I think that's so important, an important point. Speaking, meeting people where they are, as I like to say, where they are, how they are, going to places where the people read, watch, and listen to, and talking about the issues that they care about. Like, to be very clear, UNIDOS, this is from a survey in early August, ranking the top 6 issues that elected officials should address that are important to Latino voters, Latino Hispanic voters. This is what that said: inflation, rising cost of living, jobs in the economy, the lack of affordable housing, healthcare, immigration and border security was number 5, crime and gun violence number 6. Oh, the Latino community, just like Black people, just like young people, they care about the economy.
Right. Amen.
Who would have thunk it? And it seems to me that the Harris campaign is doing a very good job of speaking to the issues that they know voters are concerned about, while also warning them of the dangers of what Donald Trump is talking about. I mean, the denaturalization, deportation, like, he is coming for people who are Americans. And they will have a legal way to do it. If it isn't legal, it doesn't matter, because the Supreme Court done said he can do whatever he wants. CC, Supreme Court decision. So this is a two-pronged approach, it seems like. Amen,
is what I can say to that. Look, around our kitchen table, and we're a family where the lines moved on us, right? New Mexico once being old Mexico, parts of the Southwest as well. So whether you're in the United States multi-generationally, or you're here in your first generation as well with your family, we all have family, parents, grandparents, kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. I can tell you, like in the Black community, Simone, family is everything. And when you get together for a family gathering, it's first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, those cousins that you think that are cousins, but you're not quite sure, but you're going to make sure you connect with them.
Yes.
But it's the conversations around that kitchen table. What's happening to keep a roof over your head? Where's that next job opportunity going to come from? I and Raphael Warnock are the only 2 U.S. senators that went to Head Start. What's going to be available for your children to be able to go to Head Start or child care? That all matters. And we also care about the treatment of our brothers and sisters as well. That's what the Bible teaches me. When I go to church on Sundays, that's what I hear from my priest. It makes a big difference. Those are democratic issues. The teachings of St. Francis, helping those that need a bite to eat, helping to clothe those that need a little bit of help as well, providing shelter to all of us. That's an American issue. And so I appreciate where the Harris campaign is leading. And we talk about home ownership. We talk about the bills that are hitting us every month, and what Democrats are going to do to make sure that we're lowering costs for the American people, and we're helping to make home ownership a reality. And we're also lowering rent as well. I very much appreciate what not just yet, but Vice President Harris is saying about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. She's laying out a clear plan.
A clear plan. Senator Ben Ray Lujan, thank you very much for being with us today.